We begin this morning with growing confusion following President Trump's executive order to stop separating migrant children from their parents at the border. There are several new complications this morning, and I have an incredible team here this morning to break down all of the latest developments. But first, I want to get you caught up on several key developments that are unfolding right now. The Trump administration is providing conflicting messages again, and no clear solutions to reunite more than 2,300 migrant children with their parents. That is because the executive order the president signed on Wednesday to stop the separations is absolutely silent on how to reunify those families. And Health and Human Services spokesperson tells NBC News reunification is, quote, always the ultimate goal, but did not say it would necessarily be with the parents. If it's not with the parents, who are they being reunified with? Instead, it could be with a relative or an appropriate sponsor. But some good news this morning. A DHS official confirms to NBC News that about 500 of the separated children have been reunited with their families since May. And one of those reunions took place just a few hours ago. I want you to look at this. This mother from Guatemala was reunited with her 7-year-old son at the Baltimore airport after she sued the federal government. Her son was taken from her on May 21st when the two were detained by Border Patrol agents after crossing the border in Arizona. The pair will now travel to Texas, where they will remain until the courts make a ruling on their asylum claim. Look at those two. That is beautiful. At the same time, the Justice Department is now asking a federal judge to let the government detain migrant families for longer periods so children can remain with their parents. Currently, kids can only be held for 20 days before being moved to an appropriate facility for minors. The New York Times reports the government is preparing as many as 20,000 beds on 4 U.S. military bases in Texas and Arkansas to shelter unaccompanied migrant children. But it is unclear if the facilities would also house the parents of the children in migrant families that have also been detained. In the meanwhile, Attorney General Jeff Sessions pulling an about-face, otherwise known as changing his tune. Remember, he was the administration official who announced the zero-tolerance policy, which specifically separates parents and children. Listen to what he said, please.
If you are smuggling a child, then we will prosecute you. And that child may be separated from you as required by law.
He even used the Bible to justify the policy. But listen to what he said last night on the Christian Broadcasting Network.
It hasn't been good, and the American people don't like the idea that we're separating families. We never really intended to do that. What we intended to do was to make sure that adults who bring children into the country are charged with the crime they've committed, instead of giving that special group of adults immunity from prosecution, which is what, in effect, we were doing. So I think it's the right thing. We'll work our way through it and try to do it in the most compassionate way possible.
And controversy is swirling around First Lady Melania Trump after her unannounced trip to Texas on Thursday, where she got a first-hand look at the crisis playing out at the border. Critics are blasting the green jacket she wore with this message written across the back, quote, "I really don't care. Do you?" Her spokesperson said in a statement, quote, "It's a jacket. There was no hidden message. After today's important visit to Texas, I hope the media isn't going to choose to focus on her wardrobe." But here's the thing. I wasn't focusing on her wardrobe at that moment, but guess who was? The president. President Trump said on Twitter, quote, "The jacket refers to the fake news media. Melania has learned how dishonest they are, and she truly no longer cares." So right there, President Trump undermined First Lady Melania Trump's spokesperson, who said, "Don't pay attention to the jacket. It means nothing." And Trump said, "It absolutely does mean something. She can't stand you, the media." And I just asked the question, if there's one message to have, because I was there this week, down there in Texas, that message is, let's help the children.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.